Good morning, beloveds. Oh, let me try that again. Good morning, beloveds. If I look tired, yeah, I'm having a quiet morning. Tom doesn't usually work on Fridays, but it's inventory. And so not only does he have to work, he went in early. So like, it's just been me and the cats in the house, and even the boys are quiet. You know, they're about, 8 months, 9 months old now. And even they're quiet. Although they did, when he left, I went and opened the windows, and they hit the windows at speed. They were like, and so they've been sleeping in the windows, enjoying the breeze. So, which fall's always a really interesting time for me because the ragweed is really blooming. Like, it's big and beautiful, and I'm allergic to it. And yet, you just gotta open the windows in the morning and just let that cooler air in. So, yeah, that's where I'm at this morning. So, okay. Yeah. All right. So let's get on with this. We're doing your spiritual power. Let's do the housekeeping first. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. Hang on. I said the email. info@creativelife.org. Right. Okay. So that gets you one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it means it'll take you right to the information, or the person they can help you get it. The other thing is it's a blind CC. It means nobody's going to see your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. So it's definitely worth doing. And I say one email a week because it's a real person doing it. He just doesn't have time for more than that. However, we do live in hurricane country. So it would only be if something unusual happens that, you get more than one. So we're not going to spam you. We don't have the time for that. Nor do you. Okay. So I'm also going to mention the social medias because we don't monetize the social medias. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is to like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you're on. Like on YouTube, you subscribe. On Facebook, you can both like and follow. I think on Instagram, it's just a follow. So, there. But by doing that, it bumps us in the algorithms. And then when you engage with the individual posts by reacting, commenting, and sharing them, again, it bumps us in the algorithms. More people see our stuff. Therefore, so it's a free, easy way that you can support the center. And if you allow notifications, then it'll let you know when we either upload new videos or go live. So there's that. All right. I have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to sleep a lot of this weekend away again. And last weekend was just, a lot. This weekend, I don't know. Or this week, it's not as been as physically, but like emotionally and mentally, it's been a lot. So, there's that. Okay. Now, your spiritual power is a collection. It is a library of some of Ernest's either rarer works or smaller works, probably rare and small works, stuff that you don't see many other places. We are currently doing Pray and Prosper, which is a fairly small book, and it's just all of Ernest's thoughts about prayer. I keep meaning to look it up on Goodreads to see what it says about the actual book, and I haven't done it yet. But it's been interesting. And so a lot of times with Ernest, what I'll do is when he changes topics, I change. But these are so short because you can see there's 3 of them, right here. So we've been doing about 3 a day. They're very rich, and I don't want to give myself too much to think about the day. So I'll do like 3, maybe 4, depending on how long or short they are. But it's been very interesting. And one of the things that I like about Ernest is every now and again, he just has this really amazing turn of phrase. And you're like, ooh, that just kind of really lights everything up. So I'm getting my trusty highlighter ready in case, because I know I'm going to see at least one in everything. It's like, okay, I want to remember that, or at least be able to find it again. So if you are following along in the book, we are on page 169, and we are going to start with joy and enthusiasm, which I think is an excellent topic for a Friday, because it just happens to be Friday, a Friday in October. So, all right, joy and enthusiasm. Now remember, we're in Pray and Prosper. So joy and enthusiasm. Prayers can be joyful and enthusiastic. And that right there, that's one of my favorite things. It's like prayers don't have to be petitions. They can be a joyful description of how you want to live life. Okay? So let's see what Ernest has to say about joy and enthusiasm. It has been said that joy infuses the commonplace with a creative activity. Emerson said the only thing he learned about grief was its emptiness. Jesus spoke of joy which he had and which he desired his disciples to have, that their joy might be full. There is a song at the center of everything. The music of the spheres is no illusion. We must uncover the song and permit it to saturate our souls with joy. Enthusiasm is the most creative of all the imaginative faculties. Okay. I'll have to give that one some thought, but I think I probably agree with him. There is something light, unobstructed, weightless about it. We cannot associate the spirit with sadness or depression. The very thought of the fountain of life suggests something gushing forth, bubbling up from a subterranean passage, whose flow is irresistible. It is no wonder that the ancients said that the wind whispers, the leaves clap their hands, and the morning stars sing together. We are told that the shepherds heard this celestial music, the angelic chorus singing peace on earth, goodwill towards humanity. Spiritual communion will cause the angels of our better self to sing. Oh, there it is. The angels of our better selves. Right? The angels of our better selves. That is a top title. The angels of our better self. I'm going to remember that. That's going to be a top title. Okay. I wish I had my phone with me. I keep a list of top titles. Okay. Back to the reading. Spiritual communion will cause the angels of our better self to sing, making our consciousness happy. Spiritual communion is not a droll affair. It is not a wailing wall. It is the triumphant procession of the soul into the secret place of the Most High, where the scroll of life is taken from the Ark of the Covenant, on which are inscribed the joyous word, I am the Lord thy God in the midst of thee. Seriously. Angels of our better self. Okay. But see, that's what I'm talking about. He says, it's a triumphant procession. That's what prayer can be. Ideally, you should feel better. Ideally you will feel better after prayer, not worse. So I'm down for joy and enthusiasm in prayer. Now, occasionally when we are praying about difficult things, again, we should walk away from prayer feeling comforted. It may not be joyous and enthusiastic. Well, I don't know. Not necessarily joyful, but when I'm praying for hard things, enthusiasm definitely enters into it, because I'm ready to let's move this. Let's move this along. Okay. Okay. Moving on to the prayer of thanksgiving. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. We are told to make known our requests with thanksgiving. And why shouldn't we be grateful when we realize that the divine gift is forever made? Why shouldn't our spirits rise in joyful praise of the life principle, which has delivered its entire nature to us, withholding nothing? We know that when we praise animals, they respond to us. We know that when we praise children, they cooperate with us. Since the intelligence operating through animal and child respond to praise and thanksgiving, why shouldn't everything respond in like manner? There is but one spirit in all things. When we condemn any physical organ, we retard the circulation of the life force through it. Therefore, Jesus tells us to judge not, that we be not judged. We should praise every organ of the body. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless this hang on. I think I skipped a line. Hang on. Bless the holy name. We should bless the action and reaction of the life forces that flow through the body. We should bless everything that we do, everyone we meet, every letter we write, every person we think of, every incident that comes into our imagination. So this kind of goes back to that pray without ceasing, if every thought could be creative, well, every thought can be a blessing. Why not bless everything we do? I do have issues with my knees, but you know what? Lately I've been working on a visualization where I visualize my knees, perfect and healthy, and it wouldn't hurt to add a thank you for, the almost, more than, okay, how about we say this? More than 50 years that they have carried me around on this planet, and however many more I've got to go. Let me thank my knees as well as visualizing them as whole and healthy. And there's good psychological research behind that. So, okay. The desert is made to bloom and blossom as the rose by blessing it with the presence of seed, water, and personal attention and cultivation. The music of the spheres is heard only by those who listen, not with an ear dulled by condemnation and censure, but with praise and thanksgiving. Yeah. So I'm kind of on board with him. Let's bless everything that we do. Everything that we do. And say thank you. Thank you. I saw somewhere where instead of apologizing for being late, saying thank you for waiting for me. And I think that's a good practice. It has different energy and it feels different. And yeah. Okay. Whew. Let's move on to the self-creative energy of prayer. And I have no idea who Dr. Carroll is. It's Carrel. So in case you want to look up who Dr. Carroll is, Dr. Carroll, in an article on prayer, has suggested that faith is a luminous and self-creative energy. Faith lays hold of a power which is not only creative, but which creates out of its own being. It is self-energizing. The creative energy of spirit must be limitless. Therefore, we can set no limit on the possibility of what it can do for us. Ooh. Yep, we can set no limit on what it can do for us. That's it. See, now that's one of those lines that I want to go away and think about. Because the only limit in prayer is the one we ourselves put on it. So that's a really good, that's an attention-getting line. Okay? Undoubtedly, it is able to give us infinitely more than we have expected, understood, or accepted. We must believe that it will not only make the gift, it will also, out of its own energy, out of its own power, out of its own being, create the way, the method, and the means through which the gift is to come to us. This is the reality with which prayer deals, infinite in its possibility, ever ready to respond. The creative spirit awaits our recognition. We must learn to have faith and to walk in the light, infinite in its possibility. I like it. Okay, Yep. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to stop. So we're going to actually stop on the bottom of 171. So we'll pick up tomorrow with prayer and recognition. We're going to end on the field of faith. Okay, so the field of faith. Whenever people meet together for prayer and spiritual communion, a field of faith is created, which reacts upon everyone who enters it. An atmosphere of reality has been recognized. A new vibratory law has been set to motion. It is easy to break one twig, but if we bind many twigs together, they become unbreakable. In group consciousness, the individual faith of each member is strengthened, and through union with the others. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me go back and do that again. In group consciousness, the individual faith of each member is strengthened through union with all the others. In union, there is strength, is just as true in our mental life as it is in the body of our affairs. Okay, now, in group consciousness, the individual faith of each member is strengthened through the union with all the others. Always we should seek the companionship of those whose faith may be added to ours. Thought atmospheres are real enough. We sense them in the quiet of the cathedral or at the shrines where countless thousands have gathered in with uplifted faith, seeking communion with the eternal reality. Thus, the power of one is multiplied through combining it with the prayer of others. This is not because the Spirit listens to many more than just one, but because often many create a larger hope and a greater expectancy. They develop a real dynamic field of faith. Many create a larger hope and a greater expectancy. Interesting. Okay. All right. Huh. See, I tell you, I stop and I think about these things. I go away and think about them. And I've got two things to think about. Creating a larger hope and a greater expectancy, and angels of our better selves. Yeah. I really enjoy, I'm so glad I started this project. Back in, I got the idea from a classmate, Reverend Simon Shadowlight. He's at Mile High, or I think that's where he was. I'm not entirely sure if he's still there because I haven't looked lately. When we met, he was a senior and I was a freshman, and we knew each other, and we sat down and talked about, okay, where could we have, crossed paths? And honestly, we never did figure it out, but sometimes souls just recognize each other. It's like, no, I know you. So it was really interesting for both of us to have that moment. Right away, I guess it was I think maybe it was the end of 2018, or sometime in 2019. I had to have a biopsy done. I got a scar right here because I had a mammogram, and then I went and had an ultrasound because I have dense tissue, and they saw something on the ultrasound. So I had to have a biopsy. And that was right around the same time that Reverend Simon had said something about, he was reading, I think it was a 365. I want to say Rumi. I still have the book somewhere. And I was like, so I picked up the book, and my, Tom and I would, at night, right before we would go to bed, we would read the 365. And so we finished that book, and I found out that Ernest had one, and so I started reading the Ernest Holmes 365, and then COVID happened, and I went, oh, because I read something really inspirational. I was like, well, okay, so we're not doing Wednesday night services. Let me get on Facebook Live and do it. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing it every morning, and so and I'm not doing 365s anymore. I did 3 365s. And then I moved on into just reading Ernest Holmes' works. And it's been very enlightening. And I'm not sure that these are written. A lot of these, I think, were transcribed talks, like lessons he was giving in classes or lectures. And he's just got this beautiful way of putting things. And so I'm really enjoying it. So if you ever wondered how this started, that's how I got started doing this. This is one of my spiritual practices. So y'all just get to watch me do it live or watch it later. So, I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. Okay, I'm going to move on into the process of my day. So, well, hello, baby. Come on out. Come on out. Dante just came in and just grabbed my knees. I don't think I'm going to get him to come up and, you want to, come here. You want to make a cameo? See, look at this beautiful boy. Look at this beautiful boy who immediately struggles. So you don't get to see those gorgeous blue eyes. Okay. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. You take care of yourself day. Let's wrap this week up day. Let's pray for some rain day. We've got a 30% chance. So, we'll take what we can get, though. Be aware of the heat day, a drink plenty of water day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a tell somebody you love them day, including yourself day, a include yourself day, a do something just for you day, a do something for somebody else day, I'm out of words day, have a smile day. Okay, that's always a good one. Even if there's nobody to see you smile, the physical act of smiling makes you feel better. There's science behind that. Try it. You might like it. A good day, and if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a brilliant light, a divine spark. I think I already said spirit in motion, God in action, but you know what? Here, it never hurts to say it again. A beautiful masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. All right, beloveds. Whew. Moving on into the process of this day, I'm going to remind you to get to know who the divine knows you to be. Because the divine knows you to be good. It is all the divine knows. It's all the divine knows. And from there, anything's possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's Saturday. I get to go to the park. Yay! Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time. So I might have a bird or squirrel story for you. We haven't seen the Blue Jays in the last couple of weeks, so, yeah. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful day. Please.